Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Envy and today we're watching episode 1 of To Be Hero X. I hope you're doing well as you can be, taking care of yourself as much as you can. I hope you've been safe. Now, To Be Hero X was the clear winner of the poll we did in YouTube post, right? It was we were supposed to have two winners. As of right now, I'm unsure as to which show is going to be the second winner because last I checked, Dungeon Meshi and Kaiju number 8 were tied, right? But To Be Hero X was like the clear number one winner. So we're starting with this, and I'm kind of glad it won because I've heard really good things about it. From the people who've seen it, they really like it, right? So I am excited to see what it's about. I do know it involves superheroes or superpowers in some way. Kinda reminds me of My Hero Academia. But yeah, that's all I know. So it's going to be exciting. I am going in pretty much blind, I think. I don't know what the story or anything is about. So it's exciting and we don't really have a recap to do. So without further ado, let's get on with the episode. Oh my god, it's giving Finan. Being of perfection. Or All Might. The design reminds me of Finan from HSR. Everyone creates heroes. That's giving Arcane. Lilink. Number one hero. Oh, One Punch Man. Does he want to be a hero? Man. The animation is like Arcane, right? I haven't seen Arcane. But from the glimpses, Miss J. Is he gonna get fired? No. Who does this kid remind me of? Win someone's trust. Is this Miss J? Oh, Moon. Oh. Oh. So they do ads and everything, huh? Is he flipping him off? Oh. Is he actually there? Why is his name Nice? Nice and Moon. Imagine if Nice is not so nice. What? 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 I think his life was not so nice. Bro, I can't believe he gave him finger guns before jumping. Well, he did the finger guns. That's crazy. That's a crazy start. That's a crazy start. But what are they gonna do? Like, what are they gonna do? How long can they hide it? Poorly, since the incident. Are they gonna turn him into Nice? No. I don't see it personally, but okay. Now I can see it a little bit. 1 week later. I really like the animation. Oh, it's interesting. Oh no. Volunteer is crazy. Oh, that's really sad. But he doesn't have powers. Yeah, it needs lenses. Oh, he has them. It's the power of trust. Oh. So does he get like some sort of energy? Like the spirit bomb. Trust value. Bro, what the heck? How does this work? But isn't this like imposter syndrome max pro max? Imagine if they don't get along. I mean, because it seems too good to be true. It's all PR, isn't it? But he is very good at that. I feel like it's too good to be true. Damn, everything is so structured. I really like how it's directed. It's so fun. 249th hero in the association. So every superhero world has an association. Well, he understands her really well, I think. Yeah. He's a fan. She's kind of funny though. He knows. Trust. An actual partner, I don't think they would know all this though. Oh, he's a fan. He's a super fan. Oh, but the camera work is exceptional. Maybe he can just say she's the person I love. Something like that. I'm very curious as to what the dynamic between the OGs was. She is? Okay, calm down. Sit down. Kind of cringe, but... Oh, wow. Man, this guy. Oh god. Calm down. That bro is losing it. What is that? Do they have to fight together? Huh? What? Why? What? Oh shit. I thought... The one person. He kind of had it coming, no? But at the same time, maybe he was right. He's annoying, but maybe he was right. Oh, the animation I feel is like, it's just different throughout. One more revision is crazy. I can understand, but this is a bit much. Oh, it's fear. Trust and fear. Oh, trust value and like fear value. A complete monster. That's kind of sad though. If fear turns people into monster. And he actually became strong. Wow, this is crazy, you guys. Another different kind of animation. Oh my god. So it's like a villain? Interesting. Okay. Termination letters is insane. Why isn't Moon doing anything? Yeah, okay. So you had a limited amount of techniques. Moon, 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 Moon. Is he also afraid? He's also afraid. Oh, the music. I just realized we didn't have an opening song. Oh. But also, is that like her real self? The animation is different again. Guys, the animation is different again. Punching your former employer in the face? I mean, also the one who fired you. Fear value amplifier. That's got to be a little, like, mentally messed up. Nice is... Oh, Hero Tower. That's Hero Tower? Holy shit. Oh, shit. What is this? Oh. Oh, yeah. And also, what about people who know him personally? I mean, obviously it was his own choice, but why? I want to see the apartment. With his own statue. Oh, that's a bit too big though. So yeah, so what about people who knew him personally? Like, they would question the change in personality, no? Is this... Oh my god, I thought they would be fake dating, but they were actually dating. Oh, that's a little... Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. I feel like they should have told her. Is she crying? What are you saying? What are you... Holy crap. Okay, let's listen to this first. Who's that? First of all, that was a very, very, very strong and an insane start to the show. I feel like, oh my god, I feel like so much happened. It was like there was not one moment of like drag, right? It just like kept going and going and going, one thing after another. The animation kept changing, but okay. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so let's start with the beginning of the episode. We're introduced to Lin Ling, our protagonist, right? Our most likely protagonist, and who wants to be a hero. He seems to be an ordinary person who works, I think, in advertisement and advertising, right? And wants to be a hero, believes that anyone can be a hero, right? They're working on a project for Nice. Nice, who is supposedly the perfect hero, right? Just who I believe was not so perfect, right? But we'll come to that later. But we're introduced to a bunch of people: Lin Ling, Nice, and Moon, who happens to be Nice's girlfriend, also another hero, right? They seem to be the perfect, quote unquote, perfect couple. And yeah. So we see that they're working, Lin Ling and like his company, they're working on a project for Nice, but he gets fired, right? His boss seems to be super, super aggressive and just really high strung, really just angry, right? And they're firing him, right? So it's kind of crazy, right? So we see that So there's a bunch of stuff that's mentioned. We see, I think the basis of this world is we see mentions of trust value, we see mentions of fear value, right? And they're described as opposing forces, right? It seems to me that heroes are made from trust value, and I guess fear would be the villains, right? So so Linling mentions that there's a competition coming up to be Hero X, which is our title drop, right? To for the number one hero and everything. So that's what it actually is. And it's also mentioned that it's like year 41 after commission at the moment, right? So I'm guessing that's like 41 years after the Hero Commission was established. And they say that, heroes are forged from trust. And obviously, it's not easy to just win over someone's trust so completely, right? And to be liked by people. So obviously, I guess that has an influence. I don't know how much influence that has on like your strength, but we'll come to that later as well, because the first big thing that happens after obviously Linling getting fired is that he's yelling at an advertisement, at Nice's advertisement, and at that moment Nice arrives, right? They're on a roof. He arrives. He just walks. I thought he was walking towards Ling Ling, but no. He just very casually walks past him. He looks at peace. He looks calm, kind of blank, just looks at Ling Ling, gives him finger guns, and walks off the roof, right? I thought he was going to fly. He didn't. So maybe, like, do you think, I don't know if that was a point where he couldn't fly, or that he didn't want to fly, or that regardless of people's trust in him, maybe he lost trust in himself. But obviously, we don't know the OG Nice at all, so we can't really say. Regardless, he did not fly. And Miss J and the team arrives, which is Nice's team. And they arrive, they grab Lin Ling, right? Obviously, he tells them that, he walked off himself, and that Lin Ling didn't have anything to do with it. Miss J is seems very loud, very aggressive, very high strung, but she's kind of funny, right? They seem really funny, right? They turn Linling into the new Nice, which I wasn't sure how was gonna happen, but yeah, they faked his Linling's death, and they turned him into Nice, and eventually, like, obviously at first they dyed his hair, but then eventually, then he started meeting the fans. You saw that he absorbed something, right, from the fans. So I'm guessing that's like the trust value. So eventually, his hair, his eye color, his voice, everything changed to the OG Nice, right? To look exactly like OG Nice's, which is okay, crazy. So now he does not have to do all that. It's just like I'm still wondering about his personality. Like besides his team, there are going to be other people who knew Nice personally, right? And Liling, I imagine his personality is different, or maybe he at least knew like to fake it well enough. Maybe he knew what Nice was like. But you never know what a celebrity is like IRL, right? So, yes. So, I guess absorbing trust, I don't know if it's just trust or like other positive feelings, right? Because they didn't mention that you have to be liked as well. So, it has a big, big, big influence on heroes. And then we see Miss J, right? They are doing a show called True Love Recipe, and I guess they're doing promotion as a couple. So there's a last minute change in the host. The host is now Eye of Truth in Lighter, which is so funny. His name is in Lighter, right? This is a hero, the 249th hero. Who's out to expose Nice, right, for being, I don't know, an actor or a fraud, or just not perfect. And it's funny. I wonder how many heroes there are, or like when the ranking actually starts, right, from what number. But I imagine if there must be a lot of heroes. So I wonder what, and I wonder like how the powers are different and everything, or are they just like physically strong? Okay, but we see. So, of course, the Eye of Truth or Enlighter is out to expose the OG Nice and asks him some very specific questions about Moon, right? About how many commercials she's had, how many, and what's the total runtime. But Lin Ling, as a super fan of Moon, obviously is able to answer those questions, right? And there's also a question where the truth or dare, right? Where I guess Enlighter can detect whether he's lying or not. So the question is whether Moon is actually his girlfriend or not, which obviously she's not. So he is able to, he's smart, he's able to work around that because he says, she's not my girlfriend, she's my goddess, right? Kind of cringe, but it worked. But I was very curious to see Moon's reaction to it, right? Because she obviously, I think like I really would like to know what the dynamic between the OG Nice and Moon was, because she looked kind of like, I don't know, awkward or concerned after that, right? At that response. Because then it seemed like, I guess that's not something the OG Nice would have said. So I'm very curious as to what their dynamic really was like. So yeah, anyway, he's able to get past that, or they're able to get past that, but then arrives a monster who is Lin Ling's former boss, right? Who fired him. Turns out, he was terminated by Nice's team, obviously, to sort of, I guess, cut any loose ends off. I don't know, but they terminated him, and or the contract, I guess. So yeah, the boss is like, Nice and his team, they were difficult clients. Apparently, they were asking for constant revisions, which, okay, fair. But he also mentioned that they always promised to pay extra and they didn't, which is, I don't know. Because then in Lighter is like, your team, you're all exploitative assholes. And I was like, is that wrong though? Like, I mean, is he wrong? But okay, okay, okay. I don't know. So apparently, yeah. So being pushed into a corner and all that fear turned the boss into a monster or a villain. And apparently, like the fear of or all the employees' fear of being laid off, that gave him more powers, right? Because I guess losing such a huge client obviously would be a huge hit, right? So there's a lot of fear involved, right? He turns into a somewhat strong monster. So Nice, I don't know what to call him. Do I call him Nice, and then we can refer to like OG Nice as OG Nice, and or do I call him Lin Ling? I think for now I'm gonna call him Lin Ling. I'm not sure. I want to remember who Lin Ling is, right? So because we'll discuss that. Okay. So Lin Ling tries to fight him, right? But is not able to truly damage him. So there is some, then he realized that there is some fear in him as well, right? Where he's afraid that he won't be able to do it. He won't be able to live up to like the OG Nice's standards, or that he just doesn't have it in him. Because of course, whenever he tried to sort of just kind of, he was ambitious even as Lin Ling, right? But his boss in particular always used to crush his spirit, just constantly used to suppress him, right? So that kind of treatment, negative reinforcement, that kind of, it really weighs on you, right? It doesn't, those wounds don't really heal easily. But he was able to overcome it and defeat the monster or the boss, right? Punched his former boss who fired him in the face, right? So Lin Ling realizes that right now he's not just playing a role, he is Nice, right? So it's very tricky. Like, how is this gonna go, right? Is Lin Ling gonna be completely erased, or are we eventually gonna get to a point? Because this is like I said, this is like major imposter syndrome, right? He's not the OG Nice. But what if there's like, no, I mean, I don't think there were multiple versions of Nice. It was just OG and Lin Ling. But, he just is someone who was turned into Nice. But it's like, I can't help but question that, could he have ever become such a beloved or popular hero as himself, right? I feel like, is that a question that is eventually going to haunt him? Because that was my first thought, right? Because he is, but then, later on he said that he is Nice, at least for now, or at least right now. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to let him go. Is he just going to live the rest of his life as Nice? Which is also curious, because he wanted to ask why. He asked Miss J why Nice did what he did, right? But she was just like, it was his choice. Obviously, it was his choice. That was very clear. But why? And then she tells him that one day you're going to be in that position as well. Which is, sure, okay, not foreboding at all. But, or ominous? Not ominous at all. Clearly, OG Nice's life was not so nice, and I guess like being the beloved top hero, obviously it's lonely at the top, right? I mean, we've seen All Might. What happened to All Might? The burden must be crazy unless you're Saitama. Yeah. So, he's finally allowed to go home. By home, we mean OG Nice's home, right? Which is a penthouse at the top of the hero tower, right? Where all the I don't know if all the heroes live there, but I guess most heroes live there. And he has the top floor because he's the number one hero right now. I personally thought that the penthouse was a little too big. Very fancy, but a bit too big, especially if there was like just two people living there. Speaking of two people, so he arrives to find Moon in bed, right? She's asleep, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean they've been living together for a long time." At first, I was like, "Okay." At first, so the thing is, I thought that it was all fake, right? It was a fake PR relationship between OG Nice and Miss J, but no, apparently they were actually living together and dating. So she's asleep, and thankfully he's like, "Oh, okay." He takes his pillow and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go sleep somewhere else." Thank you, Lin Ling, because otherwise it would have been really creepy. So he's literally leaving the room, and he like, I don't know if I heard something. I'll have to go back and check. I thought I heard her crying or something. I thought I heard something that I thought implied that she's crying, right? So he turns to look at her, and she's dead. Like she's dead, right? There's like blood everywhere. There's a pool of blood, like there's blood on like around her like top head area. I couldn't quite tell what the method or the cause of death could have been, but that was an insane way to end the episode. And now my first thought after that is just like, is he gonna be like the number one suspect, right? Unless the time of death is before he arrived home, right? Like that's the one thing. So honestly, great start to the show. Super fun. I cannot think of one moment where I was bored, or one moment where, honestly, one moment where I even had a chance to breathe. Like it does not give you time to breathe or blink. It keeps you engaged. And one of the ways that it keeps you engaged is it feels like the animation is constantly changing. I cannot count how many different types of animation I saw in this episode, which is the production value insane. I like how uh animation amazing, music especially like in the last part when when he's fighting the monster, amazing. I just Pacing is great, writing for the first episode was great, keeps you curious, keeps you engaged, and you really would, you obviously you want to know what happens next, right? What happened to Moon? And it's, I mean, first it's OG Nice, and then it's Moon. I mean, I guess for Moon, like she didn't do it herself, but that's two heroes that are dead, two heroes that were in a relationship, right? Because I was imagining that, oh no, we're gonna have to, Lin Ling is gonna have to cover his tracks, try to make sure he's not too different from OG Nice, but like his girlfriend is obviously gonna be able to tell that this is not nice. But I guess we don't have to worry about that because she's dead. Now, who did this? So in the last, like the ending song, we see this guy with white hair, right? So I mean, from his vibe, I wasn't sure if he's a villain or if he's like the in the commission, in the hero commission. I feel like it could be both. If he's like the director of the hero commission, kind of scummy. I don't. Okay, really should know better than to make judgments based off appearance. But I don't know. I was like, this guy is either the villain or he's like a problematic hero commission guy. I don't know. His vibe was giving me like Aventurine plus like Alto from Wuthering Waves, Aventurine from HSR, and Alto from Wuthering Waves. But and like speaking of design, Nice gave me a major Finan vibes from HSR, which makes sense because Finan was also like, supposed to be like the perfect savior who had a lot of burdens and etc. But I'm so curious as to see, what OG Nice and Moon's original dynamic was like, because I don't think, obviously they were clearly not as lovey-dovey as they portrayed on screen, but which makes sense. People rarely are, but they were also living together. So were they living together as roommates, or were they actually dating, or had they fallen out of love and broken up, but they couldn't really publicly break up or move out because the public wouldn't react well? I guess we ever know because they're both gone. Insane. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. I'm so glad this won the poll, you guys. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to start watching this. I always wanted to, but I didn't really have the motivation to start. So, here we are. Um, so yes, I'm sure you can tell how excited I am. So happy, and great first start. Great first episode. I don't think there's anything else. I'm still still reeling from the constant animation changes. Now I'm gonna go Reddit and read the discussion for episode one so that I can see other people also going crazy over the animation, which is one of my favorite things to do. Which is obviously why I started making reaction videos, because reaction content is something I've always loved consuming myself. Like I love watching people's reactions, their expressions, their verbal opinions and everything. It's always very exciting, and written opinion as well on Reddit and stuff. So I really love the stuff. Oh, so that's that. I'm not entirely sure what the next video is gonna be. It's either gonna be Kaiju number 8 or Dungeon Meshi. I'm gonna see by tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to pick. Right? I'm gonna have to do the, what do you call it? Inky Pinky? Bonky? Or donkey. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your week. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves as much as you can. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Okay, good night or good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is for you.